welcome to Devil's Advocate in an off-the-cuff edition.
4.0, isn't it?
4.0.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm Ben. I'm joined by Sean.
Howdy.
And we thought we'd throw in an off-the-cuff
Yep.
tonight because neither of us have much time to do any research this week.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll do the topic we were going to do next week. When we have time.
Maybe. I'm not here most of next week, am I?
That's true.
Yeah.
You can research where you're gone.
That's true.
And
Just
then
be a question of recording.
Yeah.
See? All for you, listener.
Yeah.
So obviously today we've had a very important death as we record this.
Yeah, tragic.
Terrible.
My treadmill.
John's treadmill sadly passed away.
It did, yeah.
He has oiled it up.
Yeah.
In the tradition of gymnasts.
Devastated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just couldn't take any more, could it?
Moment of silence.
And there we go. Yeah. Tragic.
Yeah.
We'll give it a Viking send-off, don't you worry.
We will, yeah. But yeah, there has been another serious death as well, hasn't there? Really serious, been in the news and everything.
Yeah, DMX.
Yeah.
Who is going to give it to us now that DMX is gone?
Honestly, don't know.
I mean,
It's sure ain't going to be X.
no, it ain't.
Sad. Very sad.
You don't think they're going to preserve his dick, do you?
He does talk about his dick a lot in the songs, doesn't he?
So that, he could still give it to us from beyond the grave.
Yeah. Before we started the podcast, Ben was like, what is he giving you? I was like, I think he's on about his dick.
I was hoping it wasn't some kind of STD.
I think he's on about, because he talks about
Or
his
maybe
dick
it was
a lot, doesn't
drugs.
he? Yeah.
X going to give it to you. Have some drugs.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, X.
It's either something sexual or it's it could be drugs, I guess.
Or it could be a great time.
Yeah.
Like, you're at my concert, you're going to have a great time. I'm going to give you a great time.
Give you everything, yeah. Still seems sexual, though, to me.
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
I would go with that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not into rap.
Yeah, it's more my thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I'm more cultured. I like all the genres. You're just kind of one genre.
I'm a dinosaur now.
You're like a one, what do they call it? A one-track pony.
Yeah. I'm a dinosaur now.
Yeah, you are.
That's it. It's
not
happened.
evolving with the times.
It's happened. I've become a musical dinosaur, but fuck it. I'll go and watch Iron Maiden next year at download.
You're like, they'll come out in Zimmer frames and I'll still be rocking out to them.
Too right. They can come out in a fucking wheelchair. I wouldn't a very long wheelchair with a wheel bench.
Yeah, they all wheel out together.
Yeah. Well, it's one big long chair. It's just on wheels.
And then you're like, yeah, oh, my hip.
Well, that's now.
Yeah.
I'm too old for mosh pits. Last time I went to a mosh pit, I got wrote off completely.
Did you?
No, not wrote off like as in I was battered to fuck. I just came out of it and ached in places I didn't know could ache. Yeah, it's not easy headbanging with no hair.
No. I would imagine it gets very chilly.
Can do. You get very warm in that crowd.
Yeah, but there's like a cold breeze on the scalp.
If I was taller, yes. Usually, as is the way of everyone at any concert, it's you always end up surrounded by tall people.
Yeah.
I don't know how it happens, but
they're just about,
aren't they? Twats.
Oh, a tall person.
Yeah. I'm 5'10". I'm hardly short.
Yeah.
But anyway, and also, of course, Prince Philip.
Oh, yeah.
Duke of Edinburgh.
You forgot about that guy.
Yeah, dead at 99, passed away peacefully in his Jeep.
Man,
sleep.
We've had some tragic stuff happen today.
It's all been going on today.
I like how he was third on the list. Treadmill, DMX, Prince Philip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what can you do? I mean, you got to get your priorities right. Neither of us are massive royalists.
In fairness, though, let's get this straight. My treadmill, 8 years old, tragic death, died before its time.
Yeah.
DMX, 50, tragic death, died before his time.
He did take lots of cocaine.
I think
and
he
a heart attack, probably while getting his dick sucked.
Yeah, he was definitely giving it to someone.
He went out. He went out the way that a rapper should.
Do you think he was like, X is going to give it to you? Oh!
Because you've only got 2 ways to go out as a rapper.
Yeah.
You get shot.
Yeah.
Or you have a cocaine-induced heart attack while getting your dick sucked.
Yeah.
And probably shouting X is going to give it to you as he comes.
And then he's like,
I bet he shouted that as he came.
Yeah, I bet he did. To be fair, though, I reckon Eminem's going to die of old age. I don't think that guy can be killed.
Well, maybe.
He's like the king.
Give it time, though. Give it time.
He's like the king of rap, but he's also like the nerd of rap as well. So he's like, he makes out like he's a badass like all the rest of the rappers, but he's kind of not, is he? He's like, he's on the outskirts of it all.
He kind of just comes in and out now, though, doesn't he?
Yeah. So I've always thought he's don't get me wrong, he's an incredible rapper, but I've always thought he's kind of a bit of a nerd, isn't he? He's a lyrical genius, but he's a bit of a nerd. He's just...
I wonder what he does for fun, apart from, well, he doesn't do drugs anymore. He used to do drugs.
It works out a lot.
Does he? Has he got into that, has he?
Yeah. A lot of the rappers are. You've got to be tough, haven't you, to be a rapper?
Have you, though?
Well, yeah, otherwise you get...
Biggie wasn't, like, ripped.
That's true. Yeah, well, that's a kind of good, sad example. I mean, he didn't last very long, did he?
Well, no, because he was a bigger target.
That's what I mean.
No disrespect to Biggie,
yeah.
But if you're a big guy and you're in a gang shootout,
that's why he made it to like 27 and now he's dead, and like 50 got shot like 8 times and he's still alive because he's fucking shredded. Guy's bulletproof. You know, he's got a bullet in his mouth. They couldn't get it out. He's got it like on the inside of his lip.
No way.
They shot him in the face because they shot him like 6 or 7 times. He didn't die. So they're like, right, we're going to finish him off. Shot him in the face. He's got a bullet that sits on the inside of his lip and he's going like kind of there.
No way.
Yeah. I saw it on like a little, you know, when you get on Facebook, the little snippets of videos and stuff. There was a Graham Norton one with him, and I was like, oh, I'll give it a look. It was like 3 minutes long, and he sat like by this old British actress or something, and she's like, can I touch it? And he's like, yeah, go on then. And she touches his lip, and she's like, oh, there's just a bullet lodged in there.
No way.
Yeah. It's crazy, isn't it?
It is. It's mad.
But yeah, that guy's shredded. That's why he's still alive at like 50.
Well, it is known that, abs can deflect bullets.
Yeah, especially mine.
Not anymore. None of the treadmill's gone.
Not after lockdown. There's a lot of cakes had in this house.
Yeah, there was. Blame your mum.
Yeah, you were like, I blame your mom. I was like, it could be the 5 cakes we've eaten this week, Ben, or it could be the 50 beers you've consumed. Definitely the cakes, man. Definitely the cakes.
I don't gain weight with beer.
You were like, yeah, I drank a lot of beer, but I was out in the sun all day. And I was like, yeah, Ben, but you were sat down. You weren't doing anything in the sun.
I was sweating.
I was burning calories,
exactly. Man. I was doing lifting. I was lifting beats. I was swapping arms each can.
You were like sat there watching me work out. Like, yeah, man, I'm with you in spirit.
So at one point I was having my very own little music festival on download. So I was listening to the bands that would have been on while.
Yeah, he spent like a good. I was like lifting every day for like 2 hours. That's me showing off right now. And then you were kind of for like a whole...
I was drinking every day for over 2 hours.
For like a whole week, you kind of mourned download.
Yeah.
You came in, you grabbed like 4 beers, went, this band would have been on right now, and then walked out and sat there and played the band for like an hour.
Yeah.
You were like mourning it.
I was. I really missed it. It's like the second year in a row I haven't been able to go. And it's like,
It is sad.
You can
go next year, hopefully.
Go next year, that's it.
If COVID isn't still going at that point.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I can't really... If it doesn't happen, I will have my own festival in the garden with Iron Maiden.
You'll invite them.
No, I'll kidnap them.
Oh, okay. Get in the van.
Get in the van, Iron Maiden. Yeah. And they all play in our garden.
Okay.
I don't know how we're going to get all the lighting in.
Oh, we'll be fine.
We'll have to knock the side fence out, I reckon.
Yeah.
That's gone.
Probably have to knock some of the walls down as well.
Yeah, maybe. It's a sacrifice I'm willing to make.
Just build a stage outside.
It's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. Or we can just stick them on the field over the road. That'll work too.
That's a good idea.
Then I don't want other people to come.
It's for me only, damn it. Especially if they see me like pointing their gun at them. Sing, Iron Maiden, sing.
So Prince Philip.
Yeah.
Right. Now, there's a lot been said about Phil over the years because he's a bit of an outspoken character.
Yeah. Listener, just for that whole tangent there, we were actually planning on speaking about Philip first.
Yeah.
We just went on a massive tangent. We did a little bit of research. We're not just being lazy today. No.
I researched.
Now read from your phone, Ben.
I was doing research while smoking marijuana.
Yeah. Don't do drugs, kids.
Don't do drugs. Drugs are for losers. And cool people. Hard drugs are for losers, weed for cool people.
And then you're like, now guess which one I am.
Well, obviously, I'm a cool person, aren't I?
That's what a cool person would say.
There you go. So let's run through a few of these, right? We won't go through. I've got a list of 99 here. I'm not going to read a list of 99, but I have mentally selected a few of the best.
Is this a equal and fair list?
They're all gaffes.
Oh, okay.
They're all gaffes. They're all things that he probably shouldn't have said. Whether or not he said them completely innocently, or whether or not.
Have you found a list comparatively of the good he's done though?
I've got some good.
That's good. So it's not just like we're just completely tearing the guy down.
No. I've got. I mean, I found a list of 8 things that people have seemed to like him for. So
obviously, as you can tell, Ben has a strong feeling towards the royal family, in which he thinks that they shouldn't exist.
I just think Prince Philip cheated the guillotine.
Some of the jokes today were so dark. Like all the memes that have been shared online. I thought, fucking hell, man, this guy's not even been dead a full day. And the internet's brutal, isn't it?
Mate, I don't know. Well, you might have been a bit young.
Yeah.
But the second anything happened back in the day, like when texting first came out.
Yeah.
Right? The second anything fucking happened, you'd get a beep, 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 beep on your phone, and someone would be sending you a joke about it.
Fucking hell.
Like Michael Jackson died. Within 10 minutes, someone had sent me a joke about it.
Wow.
You know, that was the way it was back then, and now comedy's evolved. People don't tend to send each other jokes anymore.
It's just memes.
It's memes.
What happened to the morality? I want to get back to that.
No, the Brits have always had a dark sense of humour.
Yeah.
You know, that's our way of going with things. We just we make jokes about it.
Yeah, that's how we handle. Well, that's how some of us handle grief, isn't it? Is some of us handle it with dark humor. My dad's the same. Whenever someone dies in the family, he always makes a joke, and I'm like, "Fucking hell, Dad!" But it's the dark humor. But some people don't appreciate it, do they?
No, they don't. Especially if when you go to a funeral, yeah. There's a free tip for everybody. And someone says, "Oh, it's good to see you. So glad you were able to make it." You go, "Well, you can't spell a funeral without fun."
Yeah. This is the thing, though, isn't it? Though today,
actually, can I tell this one? I might have told this tale.
Yeah, go on.
I got to
hold
tell
what I was going to say.
I'd had this joke in my head, right, for fucking years, and I was just waiting. And it's probably been done by somebody. I don't care. I finally got the chance to say it.
Yeah.
Right? I'm walking the dog. Right, there's a massive funeral on. The local funeral director has died. Oh no! So his funeral is obviously huge, and he's got hundreds of people because he's buried like all their relatives, and they all know him. And it's a family-run business, so he's very prominent in the community. And I'm like, oh shit! I better just sort of cut down the side here of the churchyard and skirt around. Usually I'd walk to the middle past the church. Yeah. And they got ushers there, and they're guys in the company, you know, they're all done in the black suits. And he went, "Morning." And I went, "No, I'm just walking the dog, mate." And he fucking creased, and he had to sort of take the smile off his face because he's at a funeral. And I said, "You know what? I've been waiting years to crack that joke, and I finally got to do it. Like, tick it off the bucket list."
I bet he was just like in his head, slow clapping. He was like, "You are a sir.
You are a god amongst men, a 5-star man."
Yeah, I guess that's just human nature, isn't it? Some people deal with death and they go very grief-ridden, or some people are like, "Oh, remember them, how they lived, and they remember all the great stuff they did." And some people just make dark jokes.
Yeah.
But the Americans have never understood British humor, but most of us are very dark.
They like our comedies, but they don't get I don't know if they appreciate the sarcasm.
They don't get the sarcasm, and they don't get the morbid humor. It's a very dry humor that only we have, I think.
Yeah, that's why like Blackadder Goes Forth.
Yeah,
is like only the Brits could have made that show, because you're taking an awful situation and making it funny. It's the First World War and thousands of people are dying each week.
Yeah,
and they made it funny.
Yeah,
and still managed to get people to cry at the end of it.
Yeah. But yeah, I couldn't believe today. I was on Facebook earlier on. I couldn't believe the complete different opinions people have. You had like on one side of the spectrum, you had people being like, you know, "Oh, it's awful what's happened. Rest in peace. The wonderful man done lots of things. My condolences for his family, or my thoughts for his family." Like loads of people, even loads of people in my generation. And I figured as the generations are filtering down, I figured that people were caring less for the royal family. We were talking about this. We weren't sure whether or not to do this today because, well, we already did a royal family podcast like 2-3 weeks ago, didn't we?
If only you'd have fucking had the courtesy to go then, we could have tacked this in.
Fucking hell. But yeah, I couldn't believe all that. And then on the other side of it, you had people making not so well-timed jokes, but that I can understand. It's funny and stuff, or well, I mean, jokes not necessarily funny, but you can understand why people make them about death. But then you're having people like, oh, there was one guy on my Facebook, and he was just like, what did he say? All these memes and these like grief posts and stuff, and talking about the man. Let's not forget he's a bigot and stuff. And I was just thinking, regardless of if he was or wasn't, and that's your political opinion, it's fine. Probably not the best day to share it.
Yeah,
it's a bit kind of.
And the thing is, yes, all right, he was a bigot. Was he a bigot? He said some stuff. I don't know if there was his age made him slightly more racist, or it's just his generation and his class. I mean, the guy's he was Greek royalty before he married into the British royalty.
Yeah.
So he's led a very, very, very privileged life with a bit of Nazi collaboration, which no one seems to mention, but it did happen.
Yeah.
Also, survival as well, let's say. You're like, hey, don't shoot our royal family, please.
Yeah.
Hi, how are you? Do the old harm thing,
Yeah.
But he did get away and serve in the Royal Navy, so I suppose you can't really knock it too much. He kind of made amends there. But whether or not you like the royal family or what, and obviously all joking aside, someone's died.
Yeah, I don't know much about him, and I don't know if he's a bigot or if he's a racist or if he's I don't know, a elitist or whatever.
Well, he's an elitist because he's one of the elite.
Yeah, but elitist just means that you think that you're better than people because you're elite. Not everyone thinks that way.
I'd imagine the royal family have got a pretty.
I would imagine they do.
Certainly the older generation have got a pretty smug brand of eliteness going on.
I'd imagine most rich people would think that way, but not all
Prince
rich
Andrew
people.
thinks it's all right just fuck underage girls.
True.
So I'd imagine because he's obviously got that. Well, I can get away with it.
No, remember he proved it. He proved it. He doesn't sweat. Or he didn't sweat. He's got that medical condition.
He looked like he was sweating on that interview.
It's gone now, though, isn't it?
Oh, right.
It was just because of PTSD.
Recovered from that, has he?
Yeah, it's gone. It's gone.
Okay.
Yeah. But regardless of what happened, like what happened, who he was or whatever, and what he said, going back to Philip, obviously, not Andrew. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, fuck him.
Yeah, he's clearly a liar. That interview was a massive indication that he was a liar. Regardless of who he was and whatever, the guy died today, and people are already making it political. I was like, fucking hell.
Yeah, save the politics. I mean, all the political parties have the decency to stop campaigning for a day.
Yeah.
There's an election going on around here at the moment.
Yeah.
All campaigning's been suspended for a day or maybe even the weekend.
Yeah.
Out of respect. And, at the end of the day, someone's father, someone's husband, someone's brother, all that. It's a human connection.
Yeah.
They've lost a loved one.
Yeah.
And I'd want sympathy if I was in that situation. So therefore I extend mine. I mean, all joking aside, someone's died, and I mean, whether I agree, just because I don't want a royal family, and he's led a very privileged life and had the best of everything. Yeah. Don't ask me to mourn too hard. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, he made it to fucking 99. He had the best healthcare in the fucking world.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it?
I think he probably had someone dressing him all his life.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. This is my attitude towards it. I don't think we need a royal family. I don't know the man. I don't know much about the man or his political leanings or his thoughts and feelings or whatever. But he is a husband and a son and a father and all that crap. So he was a human being. So I don't think people should be... I mean, the memes are okay. I can accept the memes, like you said, because that's how we deal with it, with humor. But they're just straight up political. Oh, he was a horrible human being. I mean... He's still a human being, though, isn't he? Yeah. So I don't get that. But at the same time, the whole posts that everyone's doing about, he was such an influential figure and this and that and this, and it's a terrible loss for this country. I'm just like, guys, I mean, he didn't do that much.
Well, he did do some good.
Yeah, he did.
We'll get into that a little bit later.
He did, but like the whole country's mourning like it's a big deal. It's like, yeah, the guy's a prince or a king or whatever.
Prince, consort.
Yeah, but
he never got to be king.
Yeah, because he's not English.
No, because he's just marrying him.
Oh, I thought it was because he wasn't
English.
No,
they changed that rule, I think. It's like, you're just a prince consort. You don't get to be king. Yeah. But... yeah, it's like separating the whole royalty from it. He's a human being, so it's like, regardless of what person he was. Like he said, he's 99. He's lived a great life. He's lived a long life. Yeah. I mean, he's had some adventures. If I can make it to 99, I don't mind if I pop off then. It's not a terrible loss. It's an expected loss. Yeah. It's still an awful thing, but it's not
It's not like we didn't see it coming.
Well, that's it. It was always going to happen. I think a lot of it is that, well, I mean, like my parents, go back to my parents' generation, they've always been there.
Yeah.
They've always been there. And when Lizzie pops off herself, the Queen, it's going to be the same. It is, even I'll go,
wow.
Well, fucking hell, that's literally what we're looking at now. It's the end of an era.
Yeah, it's shocking and it's a big deal, but it's at the same time it's not a big deal.
It's historical.
Yeah, it's historically it's a big deal.
He's been there for 57 years.
Yeah, but in terms of day-to-day people's lives, it's not a big deal.
Of course it isn't. I couldn't really. Yeah. It hasn't affected my day at all. Apparently, though, if the Queen does die, we'll get to go home early from work.
Hey.
That's apparently.
That won't affect me though.
Oh yeah,
being self-employed.
Well, I'll get to go home early from work. How I'll get home early from work, I don't know, because the buses will stop running by that logic.
Just walk home, I guess.
I have to, but that kind of takes my afternoon away then.
You're getting a free afternoon.
But I'm going to waste 2 hours of it walking home.
Oh no, cardio. Oh no.
Well, it's not even that, is it? I suppose I could make it interesting by calling it a pubs on the way home. Gradually work my way back.
You just turned health and fitness into a pub crawl.
Isn't that what pub crawls are about?
No.
Oh.
But yeah.
I have been doing things very wrong.
Yes, you have. But yeah, he's 99. I mean, people have been sharing memes for the past nearly 10 years about, I mean, I saw one about 6 months ago of him, was when he was in the accident and stuff.
He's been ill, and he's had that accident. He's probably never been the same since that accident, actually.
Yeah, I saw a meme of someone comparing him to Nosferatu or whatever. You remember that film?
Yeah, Nosferatu.
Yeah, I've seen stuff like that for years.
Yeah, the old because when he came out of the hospital, he looked fucking ill still. He had these big red rings under his eyes. And it was like he looked like a zombie.
Yeah, and there was a zombie meme.
There was like the Shaun of the Dead meme, like kill Phil, grab Liz, get to the Winchester.
Yeah, I saw that one today actually.
You know, so he has been ill for a while. It's worth saying. 99 is no fucking bad age.
No, he's done well. He's lived an incredible life.
Yeah. So let's run through a few of these. We won't go overboard. So to the president of Nigeria, who was in his national dress, which presumably is like a long flowing gown.
Yeah.
He said, "You look like you're ready for bed."
That one's a funny one.
Some of these are funny.
Yeah. Apparently, he was quite the prankster.
His verdict on Stoke-on-Trent during a visit in 1997, ghastly.
Yeah.
I can agree with that.
I saw one today. Apparently, the Queen was away, and when she came back, he dressed up in one of the full, what do they call them?
The guards.
The guards, yeah. And she walked past, and he just kind of like nodded, and she turned and saw him, and like burst out laughing because he just hid as one of the guards, sort of thing. Apparently he was a big prankster.
He also had an interest in UFOs.
Did he really?
He did.
Oh wow.
He I was listening. It was a while back now.
Wouldn't he know? Wouldn't he be privy to that if it was true?
I don't know. I doubt it.
You'd think the Queen would be.
I suppose the MOD does isn't what the royal family are allowed to access.
I've always
because I mean you wouldn't. Let's say, for example, that, I don't know, Prince William says, he becomes king and he says, okay, open the UFO files. They go, what you on about? We don't look into that. What are you on about? I don't know. I know nothing. Or he says, give me the details on Britain's latest top secret weaponry. They're not going to go, yeah, all right, here you go.
I always suspected the Queen was shown a lot more than she lets on.
They have a lot more say.
Yeah, I think she gets shown a lot more as well.
They have a lot more say than we're told because they have to approve every law, even if it's made it through the Commons and the Lords.
Yeah.
And, I mean, Charles is forever writing to the government. He has a nickname because of his handwriting. They'd call him the Spider.
Yeah, I've heard
his handwriting is all like proper joined up calligraphy. But yeah,
that's cool.
So that they have a lot of say still. They may not run the country officially, but they run it from behind the scenes.
I think she'd know. I think they'd tell her if
I don't know.
If they'd interacted with aliens, they'd be like, right, you can't tell anyone, Queenie.
I don't know if they would.
I think they would. And then I think she got home and she was like, you want to hear something real cool?
That's it, but what if she's blabs? What if she tells Harry and he blabs it to Oprah?
They wouldn't even let me see the aliens. Now they've cut me off from my money. Yeah. And now no aliens. He's got a job already, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's working for some charity, isn't he?
I told you that interview would skyrocket him.
Did you know they had a series on Netflix? He only mentioned it once or twice in that interview. Once, twice, 3, 4.
Yeah.
Lot of mentions about Netflix in that.
Yeah. Apparently they get like a podcast or something as well.
God, I couldn't listen.
I could have swore there's like one of them's got either him or the other prince has got a podcast.
Oof.
And
it's not as good as ours.
I'm sure. Yeah. Well, I mean, ours is awesome. That's why.
That's it. Another one from Prince, but this is a more slightly racist one. Peering at a fuse box in a Scottish factory, he said, "It looks like it was put in by an Indian." He later backtracked and he goes, "I meant to say cowboys." It's like, no, you didn't, Phil.
I don't get it.
He's saying it looks shoddy. It's been put in by someone who's not trained.
Oh, okay.
Like he must maybe Indian. How many good Indian electricians are there? I don't know.
Oh, okay, I get you.
On the Duke of York, which is Andy, pedo Andy, Nancy Andy, in 1986, he said it looks like a tart's bedroom. Using Hitler's title to address the then German Chancellor Helmut Kohl, he called him Reichschancellor.
Do you think he just didn't give a shit, so he just said these things?
Yeah. This one's quite good. At a party in 2004, bugger the table plan, give me my dinner.
Yeah, I think he just liked to stir up shit, didn't he?
I think so.
The Greeks like to do that, though, don't they? They like to kind of stir the pot a little bit.
Yeah, but I always like that Zorba song. If Greece has given the world anything, apart from its myths and rich heritage and culture, it's that and it speeds up. And then they all start smashing plates. I love that.
Yeah, I like the Greek culture. To be fair, it's one of my favorite places I've ever been to.
I think that's why I like Assassin's Creed Odyssey so much. It's like I enjoy the
mythos, the history, as well. Yeah, have such a rich history. I just like their attitude as well. They just don't give a shit.
They're very laid back.
Yeah. It's like, oh, your economy's in the shit. It's fine, don't worry about it.
We'll sort it out.
It's kind of been bad for about 10 years. We'll get to it. Calm down.
They've been bankrupt about 12 times in the country. And it's like, that's not really meant to happen once.
No.
They've done it 12 fucking times and they still let him in. Yeah. They still let him into Europe. Come on, have the euro. Your currency won't crash.
Yeah.
Your economy won't crash.
We're like,
no.
We're like, come on, Greece, man. You need to sort this out. They're like, we're gonna get to it.
We've been meaning to do up these ruins for the last 1,000 years. It's on the to-do list.
Yeah, it's on the list. It's on the list. It's at the bottom, but it's on the list.
A couple of after the Dunblane massacre in '96, if a cricketer suddenly decided to go into a school and batter a lot of people to death with a cricket bat, are you going to ban cricket bats?
I kind of agree with that one, though, a little bit.
He's basically because he's a big shooter, isn't he?
Yeah.
That's why.
I do agree.
But as it happens, they never took his shotguns away, so it doesn't matter.
No, I do agree with that one, though, to be fair, is a lot of the time is the guns are just a more deadly weapon, but it's still just a weapon. It's the people that are the problem.
At least you can stop someone if there's enough of you with a cricket bat.
Depends how fucking hench they are.
Well, 20 kids trying to fucking dogpile him down, it'll be all right.
Or, hey, if I dual wielded those cricket bats, they couldn't stop me. They couldn't stop me. I'd be windmilling them, spinning around in a circle. Feel like a typhoon. Oh, that was dark.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that. Although I did do that testing, remember, once.
Yeah.
Yeah. Me and Ben did this silly testing once where it tells you how many toddlers you could beat up. And what was yours? Like 32 or something like that?
I think 39.
39,
like 39 where I'm overwhelmed by a swarm. It's not because it wasn't one-on-one.
No, hundreds of them.
Hundreds of them swarming. Yeah, I killed 39 for I'm taking down.
Hey, beat them up, not kill them. That's a bit dark.
Oh, right, is it? Oh, okay.
Apparently, I can beat up infinite.
Which I think is really lazy.
That is really lazy.
Really lazy question answering from the quiz.
It is lazy because infinite means that literally, well, more than we have currently on the planet now.
Yeah.
So I would imagine I'd just suffocate because there'd be no oxygen.
Yeah.
Because all these toddlers are breathing up all the air.
That's a valid point.
There's just like if you were on the space station, you'd be like, "Holy shit, what's that?" There's just a mountain of toddlers appears from nowhere.
Yeah, eventually they'd start burning up into space.
Yeah, they would.
The atmosphere.
The whole planet would fill with them.
You destroyed the world, you madman!
They're blocking out the sun.
Oh my! It's a nuclear winter created by toddlers. Oh. Do a couple more then. So, to a Scottish driving instructor, how would you keep the natives off the booze long enough to pass the test?
Yeah.
Scottish people are drunk a lot.
Not as much as Irish people.
That's true.
Irish people aren't they one of the biggest drinkers in the world? Actually, I think England is now.
Possibly.
Become like a country of alcoholics. I'm sure I read a stat somewhere.
Yeah. Finally, at his own award scheme, the Duke of Edinburgh Awards, young people are the same as they always were, just as ignorant.
That's kind of true, to be fair.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and the last one, one of the most famous ones, actually, to an Aboriginal leader in Queensland. Do you still throw spears at each other?
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that one wasn't great.
Yeah. So, all right, we've gone through some of the gaffes. I do have some good stuff he's done.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it we've touched on already. So, first one, he was obviously Greek royalty.
Mm-hmm.
That's very nice for him.
That's not really good. That's just lucky.
No, no. He met Queen Elizabeth in 1934, and apparently was always loyal to her. Although I have heard that he may have dicked about a bit that we'll never find out.
Yeah.
But yeah, fucking hell.
That's hearsay, Ben.
Yeah.
Hearsay.
Yeah, Queen Victoria and him shared is the Queen's and his great grandmother.
Okay.
He's inbreeding there.
That's normal though, isn't it?
Yeah.
As they say, that's why Charles has the big ears.
Probably. 22,000 solo engagements he did.
Wow.
Over the course of his royal career.
Wow.
He only retired at 96.
Fair play. They only do like 30 or 40 days a year, though.
It's still a lot.
Yeah, it's true.
22,000 solo engagements since 1952. And also turned up with the Queen loads as well, hadn't he? So he's always by her.
Yeah, it's true.
World War II veteran and pioneer of conservation.
Oh, wow.
So when they managed to get out of Greece, he joined the Royal Navy in 1939, served in the Mediterranean, Pacific, and Indian Oceans during World War II.
Wow. Fair play.
His active service in the Navy ended only when Queen Elizabeth came to the throne in 1952.
Wow.
Also the founding president of the World Wildlife Fund. You know, the bastards who stole the logo off Vince.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. But doesn't he kill animals, though?
Yeah, but apparently he also likes to save some of them.
Yeah.
Maybe he's all about sustainable killing.
Yeah, that's what a lot of hunters say, isn't it? They say the hunting is to try and make sure the wildlife doesn't go out of control, to control the ecosystem, isn't it?
Yeah, and then he just likes to kill things too.
Yeah, I would imagine that holds some clout, but at the same time, it's just an excuse. I'm maintaining the ecosystem.
Of course I am.
Can't have too many of one specific species, so I'll kill it until it's the right amount.
Yes, exactly. And in 1959, he launched the Duke of Edinburgh Award, aimed at encouraging young people to serve their communities and experience adventure.
Adventure!
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool of him.
He's also a bit of an aviator.
Okay.
Got his pilot wings in 1953 and then his helicopter wings in 1956.
Oh, wow. What did he use to pilot, does it say?
It doesn't, actually. But he's flown nearly 6,000 hours in 59 different types of aircraft, so I'd imagine he's flown a fair few.
Wow.
First royal to be interviewed on television.
Wow.
Yeah. That's an interesting one, actually.
Yeah.
Just a show, doesn't it? And obviously a very fiercely protective family man.
Really?
Yes. Even though Charles often said, I think on record, that he was a very distant father.
Yeah.
Because I suppose that's what the aristocrats are like, isn't it?
Yeah, they have to be.
You know, it's like nanny raises the children. I just teach them stuff now and again. Or when they're very young, I don't give a shit. When they start doing stuff I enjoy, I'll be more of a parent.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? He's like nearly 100 years old. Things were different when he was a kid.
That's his great grandmother was Queen fucking Victoria, for God's sake.
Yeah.
You know,
things were very different back when he was a kid. So I'm sure he was a distant father.
But I think he made up for it with the grandkids.
Yeah. Plus, Charles can hardly talk. I mean, he wasn't exactly the best father, was he?
Well, no. I think then again, you're supposed to learn from your parents' mistakes, aren't you?
Yeah.
So maybe he was a bit better, but not as good.
The whole thing with him and Diana wasn't great, was it?
No, and we'll still
wouldn't have been good for the kids.
No. Well, and Diana's death, of course.
Yeah.
But weirdly, it was Phil that sort of made them walk behind the carriage, which I always thought was an odd move.
Mm.
these two young lads being made to walk down the street in full view of people. Let them have their fucking moment, eh?
Yeah.
But I suppose it's like a toughening up. If you cry now, you'll never be a man.
It's a royal pride thing, isn't it? Is even after all this, we'll walk and keep our chins held high, that kind of thing.
That's it.
Yeah.
But the last thing I found is fantastic.
I thought you were going to say the last thing I found is what X is going to give you.
Well, you were listening to the lyrics.
I know, yeah. I still don't know. I part of me feels like he's going to fight them. Another part makes me feel like he's going to teach them how to rap. And another part, he was on about getting them on their knees. So I was like, is it his dick? What is it?
Maybe his dick fulfills all those roles.
Yeah.
And more. Maybe it's like a Swiss Army dick.
His dick raps for him.
Maybe. Maybe he is, in fact, himself a giant penis disguised as a man.
He's like...
in a man suit.
He's like... Right, Mr. DMX, we're ready when you are. It's like, okay, time to rap. And he just holds the mic. Oh, R.I.P.
Indeed, R.I.P.D. So, basically, there is a Pacific Island tribe that worshipped Prince Philip as a god.
Oh, well, they're going to be devastated.
They are.
Why?
They're preparing a ritual celebration to honor him after his death, aged 99.
Yeah, but why?
I'll tell you that in a second.
But I'm so eager to find out.
Basically, they think he's descended from an ancient volcano spirit.
Oh, okay.
So he's a fire god to them.
Wow. What did he do? Just bring a lighter?
I've no idea. They just, for some reason, they just started worshipping him. And maybe it's his, what do they call it? Genealogy. Maybe they think that he's... they're grief-stricken.
I think he just went there and lit his lighter and look, I control fire.
It's slightly unclear exactly when the belief took hold, but it's widely associated with the so-called cargo cults, which gained momentum during World War II.
Oh, okay.
That's basically indigenous people on the Pacific Islands witnessed the sudden arrival of massive military forces from Japan and the US, and believe that this sudden rush of technology, food, supplies, and weapons must be divine. These people are still living in jungles. They're living a very simple life. They've never seen a plane touch down before.
Imagine if we played them X Gonna Give Them to You. That would blow their freaking minds.
Yeah.
They still wouldn't know. They'd be like, what is he trying to give us?
Rap music would just melt their eardrums, I think.
It would, yeah.
Basically, when the people of Tanna, as is the island, saw how the colonial inhabitants revered the Queen in the 50s and the 60s, it's understood they connected Philip to one of their older legends. Folk tales recount the story of the son of a mountain spirit who travelled across the sea to marry a powerful woman.
Ah, cool.
The legendary figure for that people is believed to have been the Duke of Edinburgh. 700 people worship him as a god.
That's pretty cool. I wonder if that went to his head.
I don't know, but from the believers' From the believers' point of view, he's not English, but from their own island.
Wow.
They did visit there, you see.
Yeah.
When they used to have the Royal Yacht Britannia, and they visited the island in 1974.
Yeah.
And basically, he's like...
I wonder if he had some sort of sex cult orgy.
Oh, I reckon he did.
Worship me.
Oh, well, the guy who... Oh, wow, this is ace. But now they reckon they're gonna pass that title on to Charles now.
Oh, okay.
Because obviously he's dead.
So
and they hope his spirit returns home.
He's the new god then.
I'm your god now.
Things are going to change around here. Just kicks down one of their things.
Spews molten lava from his eyes.
There's just like an idol of Prince Philip, and he just kicks it on the floor.
Kicks it on the floor, and takes the prizes, the jewels from its eyes.
I am the god now.
I'm the god now. And Camilla's just there like, Charles, you think that's really necessary?
Yeah.
Shut up, you horse.
You horse.
So that's that. Really, our moving tribute to DMX, Your Treadmill, and Prince Philip.
Yeah,
I'm moved.
I am too. I still miss my treadmill.
It can't move you anymore, mate.
I know. Sad.
Do you know what else today happened in history?
Go on then.
The Civil War ended, the U.S. Civil War.
Hey.
Robert E. Lee surrenders to General Grant, General Ulysses S. Grant.
Yeah.
and the war was over and the country was unified. They could do that spirit again.
They could, yeah. They could.
Yeah.
It's almost like they're going to go for civil war again at this rate.
Oof. Baghdad also fell to US forces in 2003 in Operation Enduring Freedom, I believe it was called.
That's a badass
or
name.
Was it Operation Iraqi Freedom? Or Enduring Freedom?
Both from the badass names. They know how to name an operation.
You know what? I will give you that. They do know how to name an operation because our version of it was called Operation Telic.
Wow.
We
suck.
Yeah. Or we do better with some things.
Yeah.
Like acronyms we're better at.
Not blowing up our own troops.
That's also, we're really good at that. Yeah. We don't blow up our own side.
Yeah.
As much as anyone else.
Yeah, the Americans tend to blow up their own side, their friends' side.
They do have that reputation.
Yeah.
Yes. Still, yeah. All our code names are chosen randomly by a computer.
Oh, it sucks.
I think Operation Iraqi Freedom or Enduring Freedom. That's pretty cool.
It is, yeah. Bit of a win-win for America today, then, isn't it? Civil War ends.
Do you think there was a symbolic thing in that? Maybe they thought, hey, today's the day that we're going to capture Baghdad tomorrow. We're going to do it on the same day as the Civil War ended.
Could be, yeah.
If I was the general, I'd probably have half an eye on that.
Yeah, it's a good way of kind of rallying the troops, isn't it?
Yeah.
We've done shit like this before. We can do it again.
Look at us unified. This is what we can achieve. We can topple governments.
Yeah, this is a great day.
Install our own puppet government and steal the oil. By the way, you're all fighting for oil. Those WMDs? Yeah, they're not there.
Yeah. But
it's weird because the Iraqis thought they were there.
Yeah.
The Iraqi people thought they were Iraqi soldiers thought they were there.
Yeah.
It was odd.
It's kind of weird, isn't it? Because they put these people in positions of power so that then they have to go in and topple those people because they become corrupt dictators that kill their own people. So then we and America and all the other countries that get involved become heroes, but it's like we prop them up.
Oh, yeah, we put them there in the first place.
Yeah, we prop them up.
We
know what they're going to do.
The West gave Saddam the ingredients to make WMDs.
Yeah.
And then, I've heard something on the grapevine many years ago.
Yeah.
That because the Iraqi oil embargo was supposed to end just after 2003, maybe the year after, a couple of years after, and Saddam was making the plans to sell it, get his economy going again. They've got the fourth largest reserves of oil, sort of maybe third, because they haven't been able to export any for fucking years. So all that wealth's going to flood back into that country, and Saddam's going, oh, thank for that. Let's just, finally I can build some more statues of myself.
Golden statues.
And get another gold-plated AK-47. He did have one.
That's usually the dictator way, isn't it?
Yeah.
Golden statues and golden guns.
Yes. And
while your people starve.
And the rumor was because he didn't like the Americans because of their role in the first Gulf, and he saw them as being the great Satan, and obviously being on their shit list. He was going to start selling his oil in euros and not the dollar.
Oh wow!
Which would have made the dollar absolutely fucked the dollar and the American economy.
And it's been the dominating one since basically the economy started.
Well, it's the petrodollar, isn't it? Yeah. The world runs on the petrodollar.
Yeah.
As the world starts running on the petro-euro, that's not good. And because the Brits are like, well, we don't want to be in the euro.
Well, that'd be shit for everyone because the euro coin is a terrible idea. It is failed epically.
It does make it easier when you go on holiday, though.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm for it for convenience, but it's a mess, isn't it? The reason why is because you're trying to equate every single value system to be the same. That just doesn't work, does it?
Nope.
So if you make a higher quality product in one country, you can't value it the same as a lower quality product in a different country. Yet that would bring them to roughly the same cost.
Still,
that causes a ton of mess.
Still, great not to have a wallet full of different currencies on holiday.
Yeah, and it's great not having to go somewhere to change the money as well. Yeah. Let's just make it all the British pound and that'll solve it for us. Bring back the Bring back the British
Bring
Empire.
back. Oh God!
I'm joking.
He's gone full gammon.
I'm joking.
It's the gammoning. And there'll be lightning coming down. You'll be lifted into the air, going like the Highlander.
Yeah.
And you're like, the gammoning.
The gammoning.
Then your hair will fall out and your cholesterol will go up. You become a red, ruddy face all of a sudden. You'll gain about.
That's you.
You'll gain about 4 stone.
That's you. You're literally just explaining you.
I'm handsome though.
You're red right now, no hair, and about 4 stone heavier than me. You just need to float now. You're like, no, it came for me.
Yeah, but I'm not a gammon.
No.
I'm not the anti-gammon.
The anti-gammon. Mike's more the anti-gammon. You're more central, aren't you?
Yeah, that's true.
You're kind
I'm still not up there with it. I'm not like...
You're gammon adjacent.
I'm not gammon adjacent. Yeah. I'm a very, very central person.
Yeah, that's in his Tinder bio, that is.
It is.
I'm a very central person.
That's
you can literally put me in the center of any room and I look great. Not in the corner. You don't put Ben in the corner.
No one puts Ben in the corner. And on last one, 1959, NASA introduces America's first astronauts.
Okay.
I like this because I've always got a lot of time for the space race in
Yeah.
the 50s and the 60s because these guys are literally like, they've got massive testicles made of steel.
They do, yeah. The most terrifying thing for, I think, any human would be to die in space.
Oh, yeah.
Especially if everyone else has died and you're the last to go. Because you are literally alone. It's the only place. I mean, everyone dies alone, but it's the only place where you are literally, for like millions of miles, you're on your own.
Yeah, and your frozen body is just going to drift.
Yeah, no one will find you.
No one will ever find you. Apart from some aliens who might thaw you out and maybe make you their new god. Who knows?
Imagine if you like float towards the sun and you slowly start to like melt and you're like, hey, I'm back. Ah! I know how that doesn't work, but still, my imagination, it's funny.
Yeah, but you think they're literally strapping these guys to rockets that have been test fired, and yeah, they worked all right in the last sort of 5 or 6 test rockets. Well, no, the US was quite thorough. They tested it again, and the Russians just went, right, let's try it without the man. Blew up. Let's try it with a chimp and change something.
Didn't they send a dog first?
Yeah, the dog went first, yeah. Laika.
Yeah.
She was a stray. They found her on the streets of Moscow.
Wow.
Do you know why they only ever sent female dogs?
Why?
Needed less room.
Wow.
They'd have to cut their leg to pee.
Wow.
Male dog would need a bit more room in the capsule. Yeah.
That's a dick move, man. They shouldn't have sent a dog.
No. Never send a dog to do a chimp's work.
Yeah. Chimps we feel less empathy for because they remind us of us.
Yeah, they're just like stupider versions of us. So it's okay. So you deserve this, monkey boy.
For being a monkey boy.
No, I don't want to see any animal being.
No, it should just be a human that's willing to sacrifice himself to science.
Like John, like the podcast we did the other day on Queen of the Ball with the fastest man on Earth.
Yeah,
he was like, well, we could use the chimpanzees and the rocket instead, but I'd rather it was me.
Yeah, die to advance like human science and human advancement. It's a worthy death, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've said a few times you'd go to Mars.
I would, if they'd let me.
And it's almost a guaranteed short life, isn't it? Let's be honest. It's going to be a hard and short life. You're probably not going to live to 80 or 90 years old.
But think of those statues and the streets named after me.
Yeah.
My family being venerated.
Yeah. Ben Street.
Bentown.
Ben
City.
Bendover.
Carterville. Yeah, why not? Book it.
You got to have a few sexual ones in there.
Of course. Ben's massive penis.
Lane.
Yeah. But no, it was crazy. But the Russians just had a more simple thing of, let's put a man in it.
Let's put a dude in it.
I mean, have you ever heard the missing cosmonaut theory?
Yeah, you've told me.
It's one of my favourite conspiracy theories, that is. I did an episode on Quentin the Butt on that. So I'm not going to go into it loads, but basically...
Listen to it.
They were just like shooting dudes up there and like, well, if they come back, that's a result. And these 2 Italian brothers were like apparently hacking the radio signals as the cosmonauts passed over Italy. They were intercepting the radio signals, and
that's cool.
I reckon they heard like a couple of them either drifting off into space. They could hear like a heartbeat and heavy breathing
as they were slowly dying.
Drifting off into space. Another frantically tapping out SOS on the Morse code.
It's like, dude, nobody's coming to save you. This is a one-way trip.
Yeah, a female cosmonaut burning up in re-entry.
Wow.
But there's some evidence to say that they were faking it, and there's some to say that it's truly an unknown thing. As a personal thing, I think the Soviets would fire people up there before
they were
safe, just because they were losing ground. They were losing the ground.
Did they make it there?
They never made it to the moon that we know of.
Yeah.
Apparently,
there
is. Well, I've seen some footage of Russian cosmonauts on the moon.
Oh, cool.
But because they reckon they beat the Americans there, but couldn't make it back, so the Russians never trumpeted the success, or they crashed on impact and died.
Oh wow, depressing.
So the Russians just never told anyone.
Yeah,
which you can believe of the Soviet Union. They did not. They were a very secretive bunch of people.
Definitely. See, I like the space race because in my mind, it's still very much going on.
Yeah,
there's still a race. It's just changed now, isn't it? It's just literally. It's not so much country versus country anymore, is it? It's just who can get there first.
Sort of like commercialism.
Yeah, who can get there first?
We need more American satellites up there because that's our economy. Our companies and
there's a company now that's on about building like a massive it'll hold 7,000 people space station on Mars for 2100. And it's just basically, like I said, commercialism. Who can get there the quickest and who can have the coolest thing built on there? Because it's all unclaimed land, isn't it?
Of course it is.
So you can literally get there. And if you get there first and you build this thing and have 7,000 people on there, you can build something else on there when that's done.
Yeah.
And someone else might get there and you'd be like, oh, you can't build there. Sorry, we've already claimed that. We've already started building stuff there.
What if we got there first?
Yeah.
And name the planet Bentopia?
Bentopia.
Yeah. So you can't call it Mars anymore. Yeah, sorry, that's not our name.
It's Bentopia.
Bentopia now. Yeah.
I would imagine if you get there, you'd definitely be able to name whatever you wanted there. I don't think you could change the name of the planet, but you could be like, yeah.
Why not? It's my planet now.
This is
call it what I want.
The city of Ben. It literally goes on from that rock to that rock all the way over there. They're like, that's not a lot of space, man.
There's only 15 people here.
Yeah, we don't need a lot of space.
It's big for what we've got.
Yeah. Yeah, but you could probably only put 4 houses on this.
We don't need more than 4.
You're like, I will keep the 7 women in my house.
Yes. You know what you signed up for, ladies.
I am the leader. This is Bentopia. I am the dictator. Leader.
Got my spacesuit on and a toga over the top of it.
No, and you've got your full military suit on.
Oh, my full military dictator uniform, yeah.
Already on, ready to go.
My spacesuit would have epaulets.
Yeah. Ready.
A sash.
You're all ready to go.
Yeah. Yeah. I like it. I like that look. Could be a good look.
Oh, man.
You want to talk about Biden's... Because obviously this will fit in with our mass shooting episode we did a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, well, I think it was only a week. Was it a week ago? I think it was last week's one, wasn't it?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Just basically a follow-up, isn't it?
Yeah, Biden has announced new gun control measures.
Wait. For anyone that hasn't listened, listen to the mass shooting one, then this will make sense. Basically, the main theme around that, there was 2 mass shootings that we spoke about, and then we spoke about some mass shootings in the past, but the main theme around it is we couldn't get over the gun.
Yeah.
The gun, what was the gun again?
It was the Ruger AR-15 pistol.
Yeah.
It's essentially...
It's like an A35 or something, wasn't it?
It was basically an AR-15 style assault rifle.
Assault pistol?
Well, yeah, they classed it as a pistol and we couldn't figure it out. It was
something to do with the arm thing, wasn't it?
It has an arm brace, so you fire it in one hand, but it still had a stock.
Yeah. The arm brace apparently could be used as a stock. If you use it as a stock, then it become illegal, but if you use it as an arm brace, it was still a pistol.
Yeah, as we said at the time, though, if someone's walking around with the arm stock, the arm brace as a shoulder stock, and they're shooting people, it's too late to go, excuse me, sir, you're not supposed to be holding it like that.
Yeah. It's like at that point when you're like, you're committing a crime.
Call the police. He's holding his gun wrong. Bang. Oh, my God, he just shot Dorothy.
Yeah.
But he's holding it wrong. Someone stop him.
Oh,
stop him holding it wrong.
He shot me in the chest.
You shouldn't be holding it like that.
Make sure he's punished for just that.
Yes. It's like, oh, really?
We make jokes. We obviously think it's terrible what happened the other week. Obviously.
Absolutely, it's just our way of coping.
Yeah, the joke is about the gun, not about the people that were killed.
No, just the whole ludicrous situation of going, oh, you're holding that wrong.
Yeah, we weren't joking about the deaths. They were awful.
No.
We were joking about the gun and the ridiculousness about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, to read the article, Biden's trying to change the laws on this.
So he wants a crackdown on self-assembled ghost guns. So a ghost gun is where you buy bits of different guns and put them together. Yeah. I think you can do it 3D printing too. Oh, you can. You can do it 3D printed parts.
We have American listeners that are just shaking their heads like they don't even know what ghost guns are.
Well, I assume they were guns for ghosts.
Yeah, proton packs. Yeah. We were literally like, oh, we're going to riot. Biden, how dare you?
It's like, wait, you can buy a proton pack?
Yeah.
Like a real one?
And Biden wants to take them from us? Oh, hell no.
But what if it was just like literally guns for ghosts? Like you said, these like cowboy ghosts, and they're like queuing up at the gun store.
Oh, could you imagine? There's a bunch of ghosts just outside a gun store holding little signs.
Yeah, guns for ghosts.
Equality for ghosts.
Yes. Like there's like, I had a gun back in 1876. I want another.
Yeah. I'm a cowboy.
I'm a cowboy. Yeah. Then you got cowboy.
I just want
like cowboy.
I just want to get myself a 6-shooter.
Yeah.
That's all I want.
What's the problem? Yeah. No, but you're a ghost. You can't go around with a gun. He's like, I want a ghost gun. It fires ghost bullets. It can only kill ghosts. So we don't care about you killing ghosts. Yeah. But then you have this other problem where you get ghosts.
Ghost on ghost violence.
And then you get ghost on ghost violence. Well, because you're already a ghost, you become another ghost, and but then the ghosts want guns for ghosts, and it all just turns into a fucking shambles.
Yeah. That sounds awful, man.
Exactly.
How high are you?
Not that high.
He's like ghost. There's not an echo, honestly. Ghost.
They want to provide more data on firearms tracking. A rule change to classify pistols with stabilizing braces as short-barreled rifles.
Which would solve the gun issue we were talking about in the last podcast, because we literally said, well, how do you solve this issue? And we came to the conclusion that assault rifles aren't the problem. Pistols are the problem. The problem is they're making assault rifle-type pistols.
Yeah.
So this would clamp down on that.
True. And they're going to invest in community violence intervention programs.
Yeah.
Nothing about mental health, though, unless that comes under that. Ghost guns are homemade weapons that are assembled from parts and don't have a serial number, making it difficult to trace them. In the US, it's legal to build a ghost gun in a home, and there is no requirement for a background check.
Do you need a ghost to help you build the ghost gun?
Well, I presume you're using forced ghost labor.
Or why would you presume that, Ben?
Because what you pay a ghost?
Ghost money, obviously.
Well, have you got any ghost money?
No, you would have to go and get your money changed.
Well, then I've got to go to the ghost bank.
You have to go to the ghost bank and get it changed to pay the ghost.
It's just easier just to throw them a biscuit.
Well, now I know who you would have been rooting for in the Civil War. Not paying your ghost people a fair wage, I see. Make more ghost guns, ghosts. But please, we need it. We need a break. We're exhausted. Make more guns.
You're ghosts. You don't need sleep.
Yeah, I see who.
No, I'm going to bed. If there's not 3,000 more guns down here by morning, I'll whip you both.
I see who you would have been rooting for in the Civil War.
No.
You're like, I would have looked good in that Southern outfit.
Nah.
It kind of sucked.
I don't like the grey.
Yeah.
And they were really ragged. They were like grey.
They always looked ragged, didn't they?
Grey and brown. They were patched and brown, and they didn't look good. So some of the uniforms at the start looked all right. Yeah. It's just towards the end.
The blue ones look nicer.
The blue ones look better. Yeah. Do you find it fucking terrifying that someone can just print off a gun at home or multiple guns?
I find it both terrifying and amazing that technology has got to that point where you can literally just find a 3D design and print your own lethal weapon.
I mean, I don't know how much a 3D printer costs. I'd imagine it's a fair few £1,000.
You can get them for pretty cheap, actually, a couple of £100. But I would imagine they're the smaller ones, so it'll take you a long time to print your gun.
So to get a decent one,
I think, anywhere between £300 and, I don't know, probably thousands and thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands. You can get some that are like massive, can't you?
Yeah, Avengers Tony Stark style.
Yeah, like half the size of this room, probably.
And the fact that you can just, hey, I think I'll just print myself off a semi-automatic rifle. Terrifying. No background check, no nothing.
Save you some money, though, wouldn't it?
Fucking would. Also, he wants to obviously bring in new rules on pistols as stabilizing braces.
I actually agree with that.
Yeah.
To be fair.
That will effectively turn pistols into rifles. That will mean buyers will require a federal license and pass through more thorough application processes.
Yeah, well, this is why these kind of pistols are starting to pop up. These assault pistols are starting to pop up so that people can have all the fun of an assault rifle in a pistol form.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm sold. I have 3.
And that's why they've done it, haven't they? So it's harder to get these.
Yeah, and the thing is, he's put these in with an executive order or several executive orders.
This is my problem now. This is where I actually agree with the things he's coming up with, but I disagree with how he's doing it completely.
And it is a long way short of what he promised in the run-up to the election.
Yeah.
But I think these aren't what you call draconian. Let's just mean it. No one is coming to take away any guns.
No, they're not. They're not.
Right? No one's coming to take that away.
No.
No one's going to lose any guns. They're not going to take anything away.
You're just going to need
it's just like maybe,
different license.
Maybe you shouldn't own that short-barreled rifle that you can fire as a pistol without a bit more of a thorough check.
Yeah.
Which makes sense.
It does, yeah. This is where I kind of disagree with him, though. I agree with him on everything he says, but I feel like you need to go through the proper channels.
Yeah, you shouldn't be just going, executive order, boom.
He's thrown out so many executive orders, and like...
What's the point of having a fucking Senate and a House of Representatives? Are they the same? There's 2 houses, isn't there?
Yeah, I think so, right? Yeah.
You got the senators and the congressmen, haven't you?
Yeah.
Right? What's the point of having that if the president can just go, signature, there you go.
Yeah. Well, you've hit the nail on the head. He literally, in the debates leading up to it with Trump, he literally said, anyone that uses an excessive amount of executive orders is a tyrant. And he's used more than pretty much, I think, any president has ever used.
Didn't he reverse most of Trump's that Trump had done?
The first day, I think.
The first day he got rid of like 7 or 8.
17, I think, within the first week.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was like 7. It might even be more than that now. And he said, oh, it's fine because I'm only undoing things. I'm not setting new things into place. And it's like, yeah, you're undoing everything Trump did, good and bad, or your opinion of bad or whatever, in the first couple of weeks. But now you're starting to do executive orders that are stuff that you're making up.
Yeah.
And the Americans are getting upset because your Constitution's all the way up here, and I'm doing this with my hands, and executive orders are down here, and I'm pointing down with my hands. Because he's overstepping his powers.
You know, if you point down 3 times like that, DMX will appear. And
he's going to be like, X going to get it. I'm like, no, I don't want to know. I changed my mind.
Don't do it in front of a mirror in the dark.
Yeah.
With just a candle. Don't point to your crotch 3 times. DMX will appear and give it to you.
He's going to give it to you. Like, I changed my mind. I don't want to know what it is, DMX.
Too late.
He's like, you're going to find out what X is today.
No! Now you got to squeal like a pig.
No! Oh, that South Park episode.
The movie Deliverance.
Yeah.
You ever seen that?
Yeah, but
that's harrowing.
They ripped it off, though, didn't they, in South Park?
It's still harrowing.
Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
They fucked him. They fucked Indy, man. But yeah, that's where I draw the line. Is there is a system in place for this. And the reason why he doesn't want to put it through the system is because he knows every single Republican's going to block it, and he knows half the Democrats probably will as well, because some of them actually like guns.
Yeah, but shouldn't the NRA be quite up for banning ghost guns because they're not getting anything out of that?
Yeah, well, it wouldn't be the NRA, would it? It'd be your Republicans and your Democrats. They're the ones who have a say.
Yeah, no, with the NRA, you probably have a lot of congressmen and senators in their pocket, if not members. So you think they have a lot of influence over American politics, especially regarding gun laws.
Yeah, well,
they have a lot of lobbying power.
To bring the NRA into it, I think the fear they have is when you can create an executive order, which again, like I was just saying, he's overstepping at this point. He does not have the power to basically undo the Constitution. That is way above any president.
Yeah,
and I mean there is amendments. You can amend it, and you can change things, but they go through strict sort of levels.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it?
You can't just say, oh, well, this is going to happen. And I would imagine the NRA are probably afraid that if he can do that with ghost guns, how long until he does it with assault rifles? How long before he does it with pistols? You know, it's the whole fear then of when they come for one thing, how long is it? You know, when they come for the dodgy pistols that are actually secretly assault rifles or homemade in your basement with a 3D printer guns, that's fine because that has nothing to do with us. But how long before they take our assault rifles?
How is he? They've only ever, I believe it was Clinton back in 97, signed a bill that basically prohibited the sale of assault rifles. Any assault rifle made after a certain age, so I think it's up to the 70s.
Yeah.
You couldn't own anything newer than like 1972, for example.
Yeah.
And that they didn't take anything from anyone.
Yeah.
Like, you've got that, that's yours, but you're going to need a special license to have it because it's now. But we're not taking it from you.
Yeah.
But that bill has just slowly just been eroded and things have just carried on as usual.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what I'd say the NRA's fear is. You start letting Biden skip the rules, make up his own rules. How long before they just take whatever they want? That's the fear. I
don't think they ever will take the guns.
Yeah, but
they'll never take the guns.
Yeah, but that's not the argument, is it? The argument is that if you give someone the political power to do whatever they want, whenever they want, how long until they take whatever they want, whenever they want? That's the argument. That's the whole political argument point the left and the right never seem to get. Is it's never about who's right or wrong. It's about who you put in charge to police those rules. And when they start going above the rules, how then are they expecting everyone else to follow the rules?
I get you.
And that's the problem, isn't it? These gun nuts that are like massive advocates, like we love guns and stuff, they're not afraid that their guns are going to be taken away from them straight away. They're afraid that they're going to be corroded piece by piece until there's nothing left. And you can do that over time. And this has nothing to do with them right now.
Yeah, how long do they think Biden's going to last?
Yeah, but if it's a complex political system that they're putting into play, a long-term plan to stay in power and to slowly erode the system so Republicans don't have any arguments or any fights, then they can eventually do away with them if they wanted to. I mean, he's already been talking about getting rid of the assault rifles and stuff. He's been talking about that for ages. He was talking about that pre-election.
He was. He said they shouldn't be sold at all.
Yeah, him and Camilla, I always forget how you pronounce the name, was saying some sort of buyback scheme where you give us your assault rifles and we give you like $2,000. That was what they were talking about doing. So it's in their minds. That's what the NRA and that's what your gun fanatics, not nuts, I won't call them.
Eventually they just sort of gradually just dwindle in number, don't they?
That's what the fear is. That
can still take decades.
Yeah. The Americans are so pro-gun. The idea of taking one group of guns away from them is then going, well, when you take that group's guns away, which group loses their guns next, and how long before our group loses our guns?
Yeah.
And that's what the fear is. So it's not that they're all of a sudden going to go, guns are bad, let's take them all away. It's guns are bad, but not all guns are bad, but we'll decide when guns are bad and which guns are bad, and we'll tell you when your guns are bad. So it's the fear of somebody overstepping their powers, isn't it?
Well, and that's always a concern with any leader. I mean, look at Britain. I mean, we're trying to get this bill through means of protesting in public. He's 10 years in jail.
It's evil.
That sounds absolutely. And to any listeners listening abroad, yeah, you're hearing that right. Britain, a democracy, is trying to pass a law, or the Conservative government is trying to pass a law that says if you protest only during the corona pandemic, which. How often do you get these rights back?
Yeah.
You never get them back once they're gone.
Yeah, this is the thing.
10 years in jail.
Yeah.
Protesting outside in a group is 10 years in jail.
Yeah.
I mean, what the fuck?
This is the thing, see. I mean, Ben's had a lot of political conversations with me and debates for, over a year now between the podcasts and just in day-to-day life. And the one thing you've kind of grasp from my political views is it doesn't matter about the left or the right to me. It matters about being as free and being able to choose your own life. That's what's most important to me, isn't it? You know, I've said to you a few times, if I was in America, I'd probably be a Republican, and here I vote Labour. You know, Keir has picked a few things I've not been happy with, but overall, I mean, he's standing for the vaccine thing, saying that not everyone should be forced to have a passport, which for me, that's a freedom thing. You should be able to choose whether or not you have the vaccine. That should be up to you. And you shouldn't be forced to kind of be exiled from society just because you don't want it. Oh, sorry, mate, you can't come in today because you don't have any proof that you've had the vaccine yet. Well, that's not fair. That's discrimination.
Well, isn't that
tough? The government said so.
All right, then surely the compromise to that is there's meant to be some 5-minute test.
Yeah.
Go off into that room.
Yeah.
Stay in there. Do the 5-minute test.
Yeah.
If you're negative, you can come in.
Yeah. Well, that's what they're talking about doing.
That's what it should be.
Yeah.
Because what if it's going to be on your phone or something, apparently.
Originally, and then they were talking about that being unfair as well, because not everyone owns a device. A lot of old people don't own devices, do they? So then they went to paper then.
Well, there'll be a digital version, I'd imagine.
Yeah, you'd have a paper. But then the argument would be, well, what's the point in them if you could just have a COVID test to prove that you haven't got it? So I think they should have straight away said that it was optional.
Yeah,
you can either but the fact that they said we're seriously thinking about this. Actually, no, we're not, because everyone's kicking off about it. Even Keir's taking a stand on it. So what we'll do is we'll probably make it optional, but you'll need to be able to prove it with a test if not. But had there not been a massive uproar about it, they would have definitely.
That's it.
Yeah, there was like discrimination laws and human rights laws that were basically saying, you're not going to be able to do this. This is completely out of order. But had they found a way to circumvent that, they definitely would have done it. And that's shocking.
The Tories would love the human rights laws gone.
Yeah. On multiple speeches, he said that these lockdown rules are tyrannical, and yet he continues to do them. And now
they've got such a majority. What's the point of?
Yeah.
It's like you can fight it and say they're tyrannical.
Yeah.
But what can you do? They've got an 80-seat majority.
Yeah.
And enough of they'll always vote with their own side.
Yeah.
They'll never vote against unless it's something they really strongly disbelieve, and then they run the risk of being ostracised from their own party.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? Is all through the lockdowns, all the Tories, not Corys, all the Tories were kicking off about the lockdown, saying, oh, we're not, after the summer, that was it. We were promised never again. We're not going to vote for another lockdown, saying that there was going to be a big Tory revolt, saying that 80 to 100 of them would vote against it or something like that. And they were asking every Tory, are you going to vote against it? And they were like, yeah, maybe. And it was the fear of knowing that if you turned against your team, you'd be ostracized. Something like, what was it, like 19 or 12?
I think 30.
Yeah. 30, I don't even think it was that
30
high.
30 went against the government tops.
Yeah.
And that's not enough.
Yeah. I don't even think it was that high.
Maybe not. It's it was sad, and I hope they do their civic duty and not push through a bill to get rid of public protests.
The only reason why these protests are going on is because we've been in lockdown for a year, because we were promised that the lockdowns would get this under control, and it's not. Or if you believe the numbers, it's not. And then we were told the vaccine would get it under control, and it seems like it is. So why are we still in a lockdown? There is less people dying. Like, more people are going to die this year than ever before due to heart disease because of how many overweight people there are. Because there's literally an entire country of people that have been sat on their ass for a year, not being able to exercise or go anywhere. Yeah. It's not like America where we can enjoy the sun like most of the year round. It's freezing for about 9 months a year here. We have been sat for 3 months. We were all sat outside in the sun because we had one of the best summers we've had in a long time.
Oh, what a magical summer it was.
Even I gained weight because even though I was training 2 hours a day, showing off again, I was still sat around drinking and eating more.
You drank and worked out.
I did, yeah. The one day I was drinking peach. It was so sunny. I was drinking peach schnapps while I was lifting. Yeah, it's not really drinking though, is it? Schnapps.
It's both dehydrating and rehydrating.
Yeah, but this is the point: is it was freezing. It's been freezing cold for months, and it's going to be a while before it's hot again. So we don't have the luxury of going out and enjoying the sun. And
we want to go and sit in the pub beer garden with our friends, or round someone's garden and mix and have a barbecue and do all the other things that normal people with friends have.
Loads of people in the past year have gained 2 to 3 stone.
Oh God, yeah.
So heart disease is going to go up. We're going to lose so many people from heart disease by the end of this year. It will be way more than we're losing from COVID now. And that is why people are protesting, because people either think the lockdowns are silly now because it's gone on for too long, and more people are going to have health problems later on. And then obviously the other half of the people are protesting because they think it's all conspiracy,
a ploy to sneak in fascism,
or
dictatorship.
I don't know if I would have. I thought that it was dictatorship if that's a word.
Yeah.
I've dictatorship adjacent.
Dictatorial.
Yeah, I felt like it was that. I felt like the rules were very tyrannical and unfair. I said to you multiple times in the summer, I never understood why we need to stop as a society to protect the vulnerable when we could just protect the vulnerable and continue on our lives.
And put them in camps, Sean. Put them in camps.
Keep them safe. Hey, mate, based on this, you would have been off for a year now being paid based on my plan. My plan would have ensured I could have carried on working, every healthy individual could have carried on working, and you could have stayed off as long as you wanted. So you'd have had over a year off.
Yes,
paid.
But I probably would become one with the sofa. That would have been an issue.
You would have gelled into it. Your skin melted.
I'd be
to
like,
it.
Sean, I've had a shit.
Yeah.
I need you to wipe the sofa under this folding flap.
No, gross.
I can't do it myself. Here's me rag on a stick.
Yeah, but
here's me shit stick.
That plan wouldn't have crippled our economy. We could have carried on and we could have protected the vulnerable. Other countries did it. Japan did a great job of handling this. They did something similar.
Yeah, but they all they don't argue when someone tells them just put a mask on when you go out. Eh?
It's true.
No, I'm not wearing a mask. They're bondage muzzles. Just I can assure you they are not bondage muzzles.
Yeah.
You've clearly never really got into that scene, but I can assure you they are not.
But everything we've done hasn't worked. That's why some of these people are protesting. Some are protesting because they think it's all. I don't know. You said Bill Gates or something. Bill Gates is trying to
put the population,
put some chip in them, or make them infertile, or some shit. I don't know.
Yes, but you have a mobile phone. They know where you are anyway.
They're tracking you anyway.
They could. Mobile phones are the best tracking device ever invented because everyone has one in their fucking pocket.
And to be fair, don't get me wrong, I love a conspiracy theory, and I'll never say it's completely untrue, even if it does sound ridiculous, because conspiracy theories have been proven true. But the likelihood is most of these companies just want to make as much money out of this pandemic as they can.
That's why it's been stretched on.
Yeah, so it'll be stretched on. The real probably conspiracy is that all of these companies and all of the Tories and every other politician in every other country is making a packet from this.
Yep.
So they're stretching it out. The longer they stretch it out for, the longer the COVID train continues, the more money they make.
Of course, we haven't really got a war on terror going right now.
Yeah.
The war on drugs has kind of ground out a little bit.
Yeah.
Now we've got a war on COVID.
Well, they're already saying they're going to start meeting up with other countries to try and hash out a better pandemic plan for the next pandemic. It's like, mate, the last one was 100 years ago. I think you got some time planning it now.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, well, it could happen in the next 5 or 10 years. People are traveling more. They've been traveling more for 30, 40 years.
50 years.
We've had planes for a very long time.
Yeah, when did the first commercial jet liners in the 1950 something?
Yeah. So that's a piss poor excuse.
Yeah.
They just think, oh, we can carry this on. That's what worries me now is this. I'm not for all the conspiracy theories, although I do think that this escaped from a lab. I don't think it was intentional. The whole China's trying to do it to poison the economic competition. Yeah. I don't agree with that. I do think it was created in Wuhan in a lab, though, because there is a lab there that deals with this kind of stuff.
Yeah, there is.
I think it got on someone's shoe. They went home, they gave it their kids. Their kids then went to school, and then it just spread like wildfire. I do think it was an accident. I don't believe that conspiracy theory, but I do think it came from a lab. But do I think now that they know they can make a shit ton of money of it, will it be man-made and not accidentally put out in the future for profit? Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, this is COVID-19.
Yeah.
What's next?
Yeah.
Is there going to be something else?
The fact that they're talking about it like it's probably going to happen and it's going to be worse next time, there's going to be the big one probably in like maybe 10, 20 years, makes me think that one's probably going to be planned because this one was pretty profitable. Like all the billionaires in the world made more money than they've ever made during this pandemic because we were sat around spending money.
And I will guarantee you that those pandemic stockpiles that the NHS had to dip into through its times of uncertainty financially.
Yeah.
I will guarantee you they haven't been replenished yet.
They won't be. And
because they'll be cheaper. Well, the government will be like, oh, well, me mate Bob made loads of masks last time. I'll bung him another 20 million quid and he'll give me a few as a kickback.
Yeah. It was ridiculous. These masks were coming in by the boatload and they all said on the packet, cannot protect you from COVID.
Yeah.
Because it takes a special mask to protect you from viruses. And yet they were giving these out going, this is going to protect you. This is going to protect you. Yeah, it probably will protect you 10, 20, maybe 40%, which is fantastic. But did we need to kill the earth by polluting it of billions of masks when you could buy a washable one?
Yeah.
And they're still selling them now. I mean, companies are still giving them out to their employees.
I was given a few the other day.
You can buy yourself the visor things.
I hate them fucking things. They're stupid.
Yeah, but I bet they work just as well, and they're reusable indefinitely. This is the thing, but every company jumped on the bandwagon of selling these, and they made billions from masks. There's ones that my dad gets given for work, and they say something electronics on them. So an electronics company is producing en masse masks.
Yeah, they've basically given to any company that's got that setup that can easily switch to making these.
Yeah.
And has got the logistics and the distribution supply.
Yeah. It says, I can't remember the company's name, but electronics. And it's like, that's an electronics company, and they're making COVID masks.
Yeah.
They literally say on the packet, cannot protect you from COVID. And it's like, and they're making millions probably from it.
Yeah. It's just like stop people sneezing and coughing all over each other.
Oh yeah, I get it, and it probably does work to a certain extent. Obviously, it's not going to most of it, about 60 to 80% of it's not going to catch because viruses are microscopic, and these holes have, for us, they're tiny, but for microbes, they're huge.
Yeah,
most of it goes through.
And let's face it. Oh, you want me? The stuff in the shop, I want the alcohol, I want the cigarettes, I want the food.
Yeah.
So if that involves me putting a bit of cloth over my face
to make people feel comfortable
for 5-10 minutes, then yeah, whatever.
If it makes people feel comfortable,
yeah, whatever. I'll do it.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Well,
I'm not stop being sheep. Just like, well, if I've got to wear the mask and they won't serve me,
somebody called you a sheep.
No, but if they won't serve me without the mask,
yeah,
then I'll just stick the mask on because I just want my stuff.
Yeah,
I don't want to go out as it is.
Yeah.
This is a chore,
especially
at a weekend. It's like, I just want to stick my feet up now.
Yeah,
like this is a chore for me to go out and get this stuff. And if I have to put a bit of cloth over my face, yeah, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
As soon as you're at the shop, off.
Yeah,
that's it. And yeah, should we call that a day?
Yeah.
Anything else you'd like to add?
No, I don't think so. No, I agree with you on the mask thing. I do the same as well. Although, like I said, it's all just for profit, isn't it?
Of course it is.
It's literally all for profit, and it does worry me now that they've seen that they can make so much money. That what's stopping them in 10 years' time from fabricating a new virus?
Well, that's it. I mean, as soon as we've paid this back.
I mean, now, if they can pass that COVID protest law, that means that we are unable to protest, which obviously will probably could cause a civil war because that's grounds for fighting talk. That is.
Yeah.
But you pass that. I mean, you don't need to pass it again next time there's a pandemic, do you?
That's it. It's there.
It's straight from the get-go. Oh, we can lock down now. Oh, we need to protest it. They've done this once before, and it took us a year before we got anywhere close to life again. That's
if we ever get that right back.
Yeah.
Because once it's on the books,
exactly,
they can just keep voting to extend it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a temporary law. It has to be looked at every 6 months or something like that. But
why pass it now when COVID's nearly over? Well, by the time it's passed, COVID will be 90% over.
Yeah, apparently by the 21st of June, we're all going to be back to normal.
Yeah, so by the time you can enforce that law, it'll be over. So
I think it comes out October. That law is off the books, but they can just vote to extend it. Yeah. We have a little spike. Oh, extend it.
Yeah. What would be the point unless they thought that they were going to carry on COVID for another year?
Fuck out! I'm fucking fed up with this.
Well, that's what scares me. Is like. They keep extending. They extended the furlough scheme to September for certain companies. They extended the laws so that they can put us back into a lockdown until October.
If they wanted to.
And now they're doing that, which could last until middle of next year.
Yes, it's not something I want.
It's like, is this going to go on for another year? Are they setting it up for a third wave in the winter? It's scary, isn't it?
Of course. Yeah.
Because it's like COVID should be pretty much gone by now. Those that should have died, sadly, should have died by now. And those that survived and managed to make it this far are vaccinated.
I actually think that all this has done is show what an unhealthy society we have in the West.
It is, yeah. I mean, I listened to your podcast the other day. It was you, Claire, and Mike. And Mike said New Zealand had done really well with this. They then had like 25 deaths or something like that. And I Googled it and I thought, oh, that's fantastic. That's awesome. You know, they've done really well. But then I thought, well, what's their population like? So I Googled their population. It's really low. And I thought
5 million. Like
and I thought, but then that's not always a good indication. Population. So I was like density per population. So it's like 18 people per something like square meter or something like that. And then or square. I can't remember what it was. Square something. And then like the UK is something like 274.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, of course it's going to spread like wildfire. We're all fat, unhealthy alcoholics that are all wedged in together in a small country. They're all healthy, living in this nice country full of like hills and mountains and fresh air
and beaches,
and they barely bump into anyone.
Yeah, I think it's more so that they just they went strict with it.
Yeah,
and they said when they closed their borders,
I'm sure that helped. I'm sure that helped.
And it was like we get one case in an area, that area goes into lockdown.
I'm sure that helped, but my point is it's Boris. Don't get me wrong, Boris handled this very, very badly. But my point is it's more to do with the fact that barely anyone lives there, and they don't live by anyone. So a lot of the countries that did really well is they're nowhere near anyone, so it can't spread.
Then, but then you'd argue Japan is there quite crowded.
They are, yeah.
But they're all sort of...
They did it well because they are a traditionally very conservative country, so they keep themselves to themselves. They don't really have any close contact, and they follow rules very strictly.
Yeah, they're quite an obedient bunch of people.
Yeah, so you can almost argue conservatism can fix the pandemic because they are literally the only country that is very dense in population, and they did very well with very little rules. Yeah. And it's because they were asked nicely to follow the rules, and because they are obedient, they followed them to the T. But they weren't forced, whereas like Britain, we are conservative, but at the same time, there's also a lot of people that aren't, and the rules were like almost draconic. So it was like we weren't asked to follow the rules, we were told to follow the rules. And English people are very stubborn. So we fight against rules. So that was just like an absolute mess of an idea. And also we're wedged together and we're very, very unhealthy. We're the least fit. I think we're the most obese in all of Europe.
Probably are.
Yeah.
So American cousins, their culture.
They're like, they're something stupid.
It seems to come over here with Britain and America very closely linked, aren't we?
Yeah.
Culturally.
They're like 30 or 40% of their population is obese.
Something like that.
And then we're like second, but ours is like still way lower than theirs. It's like 17% or something.
Well, give it time till we get the fatty wheels.
Yeah.
You ever seen them in Judge Dredd?
No.
You got this group of people.
I can't remember.
No, the comics,
I did watch the film.
It's in the comics. You got these group of people fatties, and they're like really, really obese, and they have this little gut wheel.
Yeah.
Like, it supports their gut.
Yeah.
And wheels in front of them, it holds it up. They got the fatties.
That's funny. That's the way we're going, though, man.
A cult, I think.
That's the way we're going now. Yeah. Pollution's really bad. We're all really overweight. None of us work out. I mean, we are literally the European America.
Yeah.
We love fast food. The only reason why we're not bigger is our fast food isn't supersized.
Yet.
Yeah. If we had that, it'd get worse.
Well, and on that happy note.
Yeah. Something we need to change as a country if we can.
Yeah.
Come to me. Give me all your money.
Right, so thank you very much for listening. I've been Ben. Don't drink the flavour aid. Don't join a cult. Form a shield wall. Or socially distanced shield wall at the moment. Yeah. Until the 21st of June.
Hopefully. You're like, I'm changing it regardless.
That's it, yeah.
That's when we form a regular shield wall.
Yes.
And I've been Sean. Thanks for listening. Don't be a dick. Follow us on Facebook, SoundCloud. We're on the Cutting Through the Bull SoundCloud, Anchor, Spotify. We're on YouTube now. Please follow us and subscribe to that.
Yeah, send us your subs.
Yeah, we're gonna start. We're gonna start putting out more videos, recording ourselves live. So watch out for them. We've put one out already on YouTube.
True. We're playing around with the lighting, so bear with us.
We're going to put another one out soon. You're trying to get the picture quality a little bit better, but the sound's good. Yeah, that's everything, isn't it?
It is.
Thanks for listening.
Indubitably.
We are Devil's Advocate.